Reality and Truth show. My name is Vanita Lambert, and this is my co-host, Donna Bourne. We are so glad that you guys joined us today. Really appreciate being here and having an audience to talk to. And we plan to be here every single week. I plan to be here every week. Donna's going to be here every other week. And I'm so glad to have her back. I miss her so much, Donna. Thank you for coming.
I am so happy to be here this morning. I just want to greet all the fans out there who, send out and ask, what's going on with Donna? I'm going to give a big shout out to Marlene. I love your girl that always looking out, always seeking out what's going on with Donna. I love you and thank you for watching. Thank you for always coming on and watching us. So shout out to all the fans that are getting some good nuggets from off this line. So tell somebody.
Exactly.
And come on, sit in the living room and just listen.
And I know you guys see our phone numbers at the bottom or our email address. You can always reach out to us personally. But I just want to mention that this show is recorded. It is not live. So if you call me right now, I'll probably be at home. Somebody calls me, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because somebody calls me one Sunday morning.
Yes.
And I guess they saw the show on TV and they thought they were on live.
That was live.
Unfortunately, you're not live, but you can call me on Sunday morning. That's absolutely fine. If you need to set up, a free confidential needs analysis to go over anything, or if you have any comments about the show, or if there's a certain subject that you want Donna and I to discuss. Yes. However, there is a live show called Connecticut at Your Service, where you can call in live. That number is 203-345-0103. And that show is hosted by Carmen Nieves, and it's on Tuesday evenings from 6:30 to 7 o'clock. She features a person of the community every single week. She interviews them for like 15 minutes, and then from like 6:30 to 6:45, and then from 6:45 to 7 o'clock, they take live calls on that featured person's subject or whatever. It's on YouTube. We're also on YouTube, so follow us on YouTube. If you happen to miss the show, you can always dial back later on.
That's right.
And watch it. But I just wanted to mention that she has some really great guests on. And who knows, if you like to be a guest, if you are servicing the community, or if you have something important that you like to share with the community, you can always call the studio at 203-345-0103 and leave a message for Carmen, or you can call me as well, and I will convey your message.
Exactly. And for those who want to help, if you have and you want to share back with the community, it's not just by, just giving word of knowledge, but also if you have some stuff at home and you want to, help somebody in the community, you can also call the line and, you speak to someone that you have some form of something that you want to share. So let's connect. Let's stay connected, because that is very important when we stay connected.
It definitely is. And speaking of sharing, I sit down with folks, and I had a really interesting conversation recently with one of my soon-to-be clients regarding long-term care and how that affects not just the person suffering, going through it, whether it's Alzheimer's or just a physical handicap, but how it affects the entire family. And so this person I was talking to, which shall remain nameless, I can't give out my names, but I could tell stories. They had every aspect covered that I asked about in just the one appointment. Normally, there's 2, 3, 4 appointments, except long-term care. So I said, at the end of our 1.5 hour free confidential needs analysis, I was like, do you have any questions? And she said, the only thing I have a question about is I really, really would like you to look into long-term care. And the reason she did that was because Her family lives out of town. They live out of state, actually. And it's her and her husband, and she's caring for her mother. And so she's caring for her mother. Her mother is, I don't know, in her 90s or something. And she's almost eligible for Medicare, and her husband as well. And so I just ask tough questions, uncomfortable questions, but questions that need to be answered before
It's too
problem
late.
hits. Before it's too late, exactly. So, and the questions are, if something happened to you and or your husband, who will take care of you? What's going to happen to your assets? Who in the family is going to take care of you? And so those are tough questions for people. So I just recommend that everybody look into, a long-term care, see what's involved. Long-term care doesn't, and I know when a lot of people hear it, they think of nursing homes. No, you can get long-term care at home, an assisted living facility, or a nursing home. So it depends on how serious the situation is.
Right.
Donna, would you like to add something to that?
Yes, and also what people need to realize in today's world is that we're looking at our mother who is 90 years old. I heard of mother who buried their grandson at a 90-year-old. So no matter how young you are, you have to make sure that as soon as you reach an adult, you start to prepare for your future, prepare for what might hit. You never know what's going to take place when you're 25 and up. You never know, because I know that maybe somebody who might be 20, 25, going through a difficult time right now, and their mother have to be taking care of them like a little baby. So I'm just sharing this, that we need to let the reality of life today hit us and let us move forward to the things that we need to do, because the best thing to do is make plan, put resources in place for our future. And our parents, as you, the kids then graduated from colleges and started their new journey to be an adult, you need to sit them down and show them their purpose and what can happen as a young adult. You got to let them know, now you're going to go forth, Venita. You got to do this, do that. Make sure you plan ahead of time for disaster.
Exactly.
You got to plan, make sure you got your life insurance, make sure you start to put away money for tomorrow, for rainy day, for retirement. These are things as a mother and a father, you got to sit down and speak to your young adult that just get graduated from university, ready for the job, to go out to be an adult. You got to sit them down. It first begins with you. So you got to have to train them. The Bible said, train the child in the way that they must grow. And when they get old, that they will never depart from him. This is just the same thing, but in the natural way. So just take heed. Speak to somebody today. Speak to your kids and tell somebody, even sometimes your neighbor's kid, talk to them. That's what it is.
Absolutely. You know what? I can relate to that, and I have a story to tell about that. When my son, exactly what you're saying, when my son, baby Joe, graduated from college. He went to Nichols College. He graduated. He came home. He said, "Mom, I'm going to sleep on your couch for 2 years, and I'm going to get my own place and this and that and the other." So in the interim, I sat him down as if he was a customer, just like I sit down with all of my other clients, sit at their kitchen table, and I did the confidential needs analysis, and I did his on health care because he wasn't old enough for Medicare. And all of these things, I went through what I call the 3 circles, which is the importance of retirement planning. You have your now money, your later money, and your nest egg. The importance of protection, life insurance, how it protects, your house, your children's education, this, that, and the other. And he sat and he listened. I had his undivided attention for about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit under that. And he was very, very respectful. So I'm talking to a 22-year-old kid that just graduated from college. You know, he played football, popular with the girls. He looked at me and he was very serious. He goes, "Mommy, that was very, very informative. But I'm just not thinking about that right now." I swear to God, this kid. And I appreciate the honesty. But the thing is, he listened.
The greatest thing, to plant a seed.
Yes, he listened. And he was honest. I'm not thinking about
and
that
that's
right
the
now.
truth.
He didn't. That's the truth. But I'll tell you one thing. 2 years later, this kid, he had a plan. He had a plan before I even sat down with him. He said, "I'm moving out of your house." He moved out almost 2 years to the date. He got a full-time job. Like, it was one day after my anniversary. It was on July 13th. I'll always remember that, like 6 months after he graduated, or the next year after he graduated. And when he moved out, this kid had a plan. He had a spreadsheet of what he needed for every single room in the house. So he had a plan. He was organized. He said, "Well, I need dishes, a broom, all the things for the kitchen." And then he was like asking us, what can we donate?
Of course.
But my point is, you got this 24-year-old kid with a plan. And now this 24-year-old kid is 30. He has a baby that's 10 months old, which I'm so happy about, my granddaughter. And he's contributing money to his 401k. He's doing these things. So he listened, but it didn't take effect until like 8 or 9 years later. So it's never too late. And anyway, at the time I was talking to him, he didn't even have a job. He was just fresh out of college.
Well, the good thing about it, no matter, because you have to realize that these kids, when they just graduated from university, college, and ready for the work world, they just want to explore, So the greatest things for you as a mother is to do your job. And you did just what you need to do, because they might not accept it then, but guess what? You see, when they begin to reach that real adult hit them, they're going to receive what you said. And every word that you speak to them, it's going to come right back. Mom, talk to me about this. And it's going to fall back right in place. But I'm going to say this, that in life, what I realized, everything in life come through planning. Without a plan, you have no life. You got to put things in order. You got to plan your life. You got to plan your day. You're going to plan everything. Even in your relationship, even while you're home, if you're a mother that just a stay-at-home mom, you got to plan the days and how you're going to do work in your home. Everything is planning.
It does. Plan now or
Everything.
pay later. You got to have a backup plan.
Yes.
I always teach that, yeah.
I'm going to talk a little bit about Alzheimer's, because we know we don't have a whole hour or so. But I'm just going to talk just a little bit about Alzheimer's.
Oh, please do.
Yeah. Alzheimer's, I'm a CNA. As you can see, I take care of Alzheimer's, dementia patients, and sometimes I came across family who their parent or their mom or their auntie, whoever, was diagnosed with this disease, Alzheimer's. It's very difficult to see your family member go through a certain stage, because this thing is a stage. It comes in stages, and it is very difficult to see your parent go through. So I would suggest to every family, whoever had somebody diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease and dementia, go and get educated on it.
Yes.
Go and get educated on it, because there are resources out there, free resources, for families who need to know a little bit more about Alzheimer's. It's out there. Just seek for it. It's there. And what the name of that company?
You could go to alzheimers.com.
Exactly, yes.
And I don't have the number, but go to alzheimers.com and just Google it, and they will give you all the information. There's like free group therapy.
Yes.
They talk about things to expect from your parents. They talk about how to react when your parents become violent, because sometimes Alzheimer's is a brain disease where your brain controls everything, and when you lose the functionality of your brain, then you lose everything. So they do not understand the sickness, the disease of what they're doing and what they're saying. You know, they're not responsible for that. It's the disease, and that's what this group therapy teaches you, how to deal with handling that disease. So, and I can only imagine, it's never happened to me, thank God, but I can only imagine how bad it feels to have your own mother call you names, call you a B and all these other names, and just, you know, use all this profanity that you never even heard your mother say. So it's not your mother. You know, you have to know it's not your mother that's talking. It is the disease that's talking. So it teaches you how to deal with that and other things as well. And there's a lot of resources out there for Alzheimer's patients, for their family members, because you're a part of it. To me, it's like losing a person twice. So first, when you lose the mind, you're already gone. So you lose that. And then, you know, the physical portion of it. But just do understand that's not your loved one talking. It's a disease.
And the greatest thing, one of the main thing in when this disease come upon your family is the place it's hard to accept. You have to accept it when it's there. You just have to accept it, and now you accept it, you have to say, now, how do I, deal with it as the family? How do I deal with it? These are questions that you really have to sit down and ask yourself, because I come up against family. I have been taking care of patient with it, and I see where the family does not accept the disease that is operating through in their moms. And they still allow the mom to make decision on her own.
Oh my goodness.
Where she don't really recognize the things that she's doing or saying. And when she, get agitated and calling names, they take it very deeply and cry. And I said, well, that tells me that they don't accept it, that their mom is sick with this disease. Until they accept it, they will realize that it is not her. First of all, I know my mom. My mom never get on like that. So why am I going to get offended by the words that she called me? We really need to be educated as the family member who have to deal with that situation. And I pray to God that nobody that I know really, or nobody at all, diagnosed with it. But guess what? We never know.
Yep, you never know. So they can't accept it, or they won't accept it. They just need to seek help. My opinion, if you have Alzheimer's disease, you need 24-hour care, no?
Of course.
You're going to need 24 hours. Is that somebody that should be in a home on their own? Because
I believe, personally, a person with Alzheimer's disease must not be by themselves,
ever.
Period.
That's my belief.
Because if there's a fire, you never know that
they could go to sleep.
The fire will be blazing, and they just go in the room and lock the door when they should run out and call for help. So I don't believe somebody's supposed to be by themselves if they're diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Because whether they just diagnosed or not.
Exactly.
Because it's a way that the doctor diagnosed them with disease. That's mean right there and then, help needed. That person is crying out for help. You understand? It's just so, it's hard for me as a CNA to deal with it, because for me personally, I think I have a passion for people who is going through that, because I've been taking care of patients for over like 12 years or more with Alzheimer's, and I come across some real aggressive ones that really wanted to fight back at me, want to spit on me, they call me names, but I know how to deal with it. I think God gave me the patience and how to deal with these.
How do you deal with that? What do you do? I'm just curious.
When they get aggressive, I just try to stay out of their way and just don't say nothing to them. Let them have their moment. But one thing I do, I make sure that they don't go near anything that will harm them. Whether they're aggressive, yes or not, you have to stand up and make sure, say, no, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. But if they are safe in an area where, there's nothing for them to harm themselves, you just stay out of their way and let them calm down. You cannot go to them and say, no, you cannot do this. You are only agitating them more.
Right.
Don't try to speak to them. Don't try to stop them, because guess what? You are telling them that you're fighting with them. Because when you speaking back to them, it's like you're hitting at them. That's how that disease stays. So you stay away from them. Yes.
So if it's all verbal, you just sit back and just ignore them.
Just ignore them.
Wow.
You just ignore
them.
them.
Well, God bless you. I commend you, CNAs, all of the whole entire medical profession, everybody from, the people that intake the admissions and all of that, because that is just not for me. I am a pencil pusher.
Well, guess what?
I provide the insurance for Alzheimer's.
What I love about God will give you
He picks the
just
right person.
What you
exactly.
want and what you can do. You are the person who prepare for that portion. You do the preparation where that person is protected. You prepare me, the CNA, protected. You know how to bring that resources in. So if I get damaged, you take care of me.
That's right.
So that's you. So you good at what you do, I good at what I do, because God gave us. He know our thought. He know what we can handle, because he know that I'm a tough girl and I can handle it. So he gave me that. You understand what I mean?
Yes, I definitely do, 100%.
Yes.
We are definitely on the same
So God
page.
chose these, what you call it? These, what you would say?
The profession?
The profession.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
The word. God chose this profession for us because we didn't choose it on our own. Because I know that we've been doing other profession before, but we didn't like it. We moved to this, and we feel comfortable right here. And this is where we are. Until this age, that means we love it, and it's God chose it for us. So it's going to make us do the right thing and the best thing for his people.
And it's just another way that, like the Bible says, love God and love others. So that's just another way that you show your love for others. There's a lot of people out there that can do that. And teachers are another profession where you go above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that your kids learn everything. But getting back to Alzheimer's, that is something that you just don't know when it's going to hit. And when it does hit, you want to be prepared for that, because it can turn your entire life, not just that person, but your entire family's life upside down. And no one wants to, our family was in a position like that where, our grandmother needed help, and it's a tough decision to put a loved one in a nursing home that especially don't want to be there. If you don't have a plan in place, or if you don't have the money to pay for someone out of pocket, then it's a tough decision. Or if you cannot sacrifice your life, if you have 2 kids and you live in another town, if you can't sacrifice your life to take care of the person that needs it, it is just a hard decision. And especially if that person has assets. In your nest egg, do you work your entire nest egg to end up paying it to a nursing home or something like that? There's a lot of questions. And the question I always ask people is, have you ever looked into any type of long-term care plan? And everybody, not everybody, but I'm going to say 95% of the people I sit down with said, no, I don't need it. And of course you don't need it now, But as you know, if you're blessed by God to live a long life, and people are living in their late 90s to 100 years old now, our bodies are frail and we will need some type of help. So the answer is always no, I don't need it. Here's the thing, money doesn't really buy long-term care plans. Your health does. If you don't have the health, then you won't get a plan. And that's just the bottom line. So it's always good to look at it,
Yes.
like you said, early, and just see what's available and see if you just get the information. It's just free information. It can't hurt.
For me personally, I think that really, people really need to look into this. It's very real that we need, because you still have people out there don't even have a life insurance, then. You have people out there still don't have life insurance. They said it is a mess. But because they are lack of knowledge, the Bible said with lack of knowledge, your people perish. But they don't know. When they said life insurance is foolishness, they are perishing because they never know what's going to happen. And then guess what? They leave a strain on their family member. You understand? When that family member is trying to prepare for themselves. So something happened to that person now, the family member have to pull from what they have for themselves to take care of them. It's unfair. Come on.
Yes, it is.
Put aside something for your future. You never know what's going to happen. Take the strain off of your family and put something aside. I come across many elderly that has nothing. They has nothing. And let me tell you, life insurance is there. Take care of it. Call the number 203-687-2778.
And get the free information. It's just free information.
Just like what we're doing
If you
now.
don't have the information, you cannot take advantage of any of the benefits. It's as simple as that.
That's why I said without knowledge, your people perish.
I
There
love
is
that.
wisdom.
Without knowledge, your people perish.
So call for information. It's free.
And call for prayer too, because we all need that.
That's right.
And this girl could pray. So, any last words? That's it?
I just want to say, just think about life. Plan your life. Plan your future. The Bible said, make your vision plain and write it down. And once you write it down, you're going to always see it. Because that never leave you, because it's going to be right there. So
thank you, Donna. I write mine down. It's called the vision board. I
The
have it
vision.
right above my desk.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much for coming on. Welcome
welcome.
back. And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.